let's swing the legs around and come onto our knees here. So sitting back, making sure our bottoms are really behind us. And there's a nice, again, a nice little lift here in your low belly. Let's bring the right hand on top of the left, palms facing up and thumbs together in Dhyana Mudra. Go ahead and take a nice deep inhale, bring the shoulders up at the ears. Exhale, rolling them back and down. A nice inhale. And exhale. Once more, deep breath in. And exhale. Back down from here. Perhaps closing down the eyes once more. So observe what you feel as you breathe. Notice what you notice. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and reach the palms forward out in front of us. You're going to deep inhale, reach up overhead. And as we exhale, we can bend the elbows here as much as we need to. So you can circle the fingertips back and down. Inhale, forward, up. Exhale again if you want to bend the elbows and open up the chest a little bit more. Last time. Exhale, maybe taking cactus if that feels better on the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands to the shoulders and start to circle the elbows forward, up, back, and down. So all the way around here as much as possible. And we're going to take this nice and slowly, but we'll continue this to build a nice warmth through the shoulders, but going slowly so that we can really try to reach to every inch that we can to move and mobilize the shoulders in every direction of movement possible. Big circles around. We also want to take care to keep our core nice and strong. So imagine you have like a corset on. So the core is not just consisting of the abdominals, but the muscles also that wrap around the entire torso. So imagine that you have a little bit of a corset on there, hugging the midline, hugging the ribs in. So we're not, again, we're not compensating with our low backs and our spines here, that we're truly using the shoulders to reach all the way around. Then we circle the other direction. Again, nice and slow, building a gradual warmth. And also noticing, paying attention to see if we can notice if there are any discrepancies between the right and left side, and see if we can slowly work through that as well to help balance that, any discrepancies. Breathe deeply. So again, trying to reach to every corner of the room. Last few. Last one. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and raise up off of the feet here and then reach the arms up over. So palms are facing forward. As we exhale, I'm going to drop the shoulder blades down the back. Again, we're not using any part of our spine to help us do that. It's just here in the shoulders, and the shoulder blades are drawing down the back. It's almost like a lap pull here, but we're keeping navel drawn towards spine. Stay with that breath. And if you want to take a nice cathartic ha, 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 nice ha through the mouth and release. Ha, 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 ha. Breathe through it. Ha, ha, ha. Now let's reach and pull back a little bit more. Ha, 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 ha. Nice and strong. Ha, 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 Good. You can open and close here. We can sit back into the heels if you like. Ha, 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 ha. And be careful that we don't protrude or bring the neck forward. But again, that we keep the spine, the integrity of the spine and neck. And we keep the ribs in. So we open and close. Stay with that breath. Breathing through. Last few. And last one. From here, we're going to bring the elbows, squeezing them in, below the shoulders, out, and then in above the shoulders. Squeeze. Or as high and as low as feels good for your body today. Imagine that you've got like a squishy ball that you're squeezing between the arms or between the elbows each time. Stay with that breath. Hollow belly, lift navel towards spine. Breathing through. Squeeze, squeeze. A few more. Squeeze. And last one. From here, we're going to reach out. Palms pressing out, pushing out away, and as if we're trying to pull the arms out of their sockets. Ha, ha, ha. So they're going to pull out away from you. Ha, 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 ha. Stay with that. Ha, ha, ha. From here, elbows. Elbows are going to stay up. Shoulders down, elbows up, and then wrists kind of below those elbows. Okay, we're circling. Circle, circle, circle. Try to keep those elbows up and shoulders down. Again, resist the tendency like I'm doing to crank your neck in weird ways that's not necessary. Breathe. Resist the temptation to compensate anywhere else in the body, and then circle the other direction. Ooh. Feel that nice little warmth. Stay with that breath. Whew. Stay. And from here, back to the hands together, and then we're going to push through. Back to the hands, and then press. And a little quicker. Push, 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 push. Keep going. Press, 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 and press. All right, let's swing it out. We can come up onto the knees again too. Swing it out. When you're ready, crossing your left arm or whichever arm over front, out in front of you. Drawing navel to spine, stretching through that outer arm and shoulder. Breathing through. And then release. Let's bring that same arm up and overhead. Drawing chin in and head back slightly. Open through the chest, if possible. Spread and release. Swing it out. Same thing on the other side when you're ready. Cross. Breathe. Again, we can also sit back, bottom back behind you. And then once more, that same arm's going to come up and overhead. Stretching through the triceps, bringing the chin in, head back. And again, through that outer shoulder a bit. All right, from here, let's go ahead and curl the toes under. We're going to sit back onto the heels, stretching the feet as well. And release the fingers root down to your seat as we inhale, press down to reach up, palms facing towards the sky. So we exhale, let's press forward through the palms, stretching through upper back. And then again, inhale, root down, reach up. As we exhale, we're going to interlace the fingers behind you, knuckles against the sacrum, bend the elbows back. Take a nice deep inhale, open through the chest. Maybe look up and open through the throat. Exhale, bring the chin in towards the throat and belly. Inhale, stretching knuckles away from you. As we exhale, we gently twist and draw that shoulder back and down. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the other side, shoulder down and back. Inhale through center. As we exhale, go ahead and release the hands here. You come onto your fists and separate the knees. Circle the toes and ankles around. Circle the other way. And then again from here, we're going to relax your feet and just give them a nice little floppy massage. Thump, thump, thump. Relax the feet. Bring your feet together, knees together, and then we'll sit back into the heels. Relax your feet as we lift the knees only as high as feels comfortable. Stretching through the shins and the ankles, tops of the feet, if it feels good. Again, bottom behind us, and release the fingers, root down through the seat as we inhale. Press down to reach up. And actually this time, let's go ahead and bring the palms to face you. Reaching up here, stretching through the wrists a little bit. And then as we exhale, let's round through the upper back here again. Palms are facing you, and we're gently going to pull the shoulders back one at a time, alternating. Gently stretching through, again, the wrists and the shoulders a bit. From there, let's go ahead and release behind us. And release the opposite forefinger and thumb on top. Sorry, bending the elbows back first. And lift through the heart center. Lift the chest. Inhaling there and exhaling. When you're ready, navel towards spine. Inhale, stretching the knuckles away. And as we exhale, gently twist from your core. So feel this is actually more core work to deepen your twist here. Inhale, because you don't have that leverage. As we exhale, that leverage to press up against something, but that we're really using our abdominals, core muscles to twist. Back through center. From here, let's actually separate the knees a little bit apart. And we're going to lift the hips. Come onto the crown of the head, the very top of your head. And stretch the shoulders as much as feels good. Not too much, not too little. Even if it feels good, just really being mindful. Breathing deeply. And then releasing the hands down. Slowly sitting back into a child's pose. Big toes come to touch. And knees slightly apart. We can stretch the arms out in front of you however you like. Maybe even come onto your fingertips if that feels good. Lifting up the wrists. Stretching all the way through the outer arm and shoulder. Pressing those hips all the way back down into the heels. Deep cleansing breaths into your back body. Again, really clearing out space, clearing out any cobwebs there through the back body. Breathe new life into those tissues. And then slowly coming onto your hands and knees here. Slide the hands or the wrists below your shoulders, maybe slightly out in front. So knees hip distance apart and pressing into those finger pads. Send the inner thighs up and back. So think of making your waist or the sides of your body even longer here. As we inhale, inner thighs lift up and back as you look up between brows. Feel that hollow lift up in your pelvic floor. And then as we exhale, let's go ahead and curl the toes under, slowly stretching up and back to a downward dog. We're going to separate hands and feet wide apart here to start. For our first down dog. And then just walking, perhaps your feet here in place. Or bending into the knee, pressing back into each heel. Just kind of feel through. Find what feels good for you to either loosen your shoulders or your hamstrings, whatever you need. And remember, if the hamstrings are really tight, that you can always bend those knees. The low back is tight as well. Bend those knees. Or you can keep the feet wide apart too. Stay with breath. Want to keep externally rotating those shoulders, so turning them out. Let's go ahead from there, walk your feet all the way to the top of your mat. Let's separate your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. We're going to bend into the knees and hang on to your opposite elbows here. And then just let your upper body and your head hang heavy. You maybe sway a little bit side to side or shift your weight from one leg to the other. And as you really shift your weight, you can feel the difference where you now feel it more here in your hamstrings, perhaps. And then let's go ahead and drop the arms down and shake your head gently side to side, up and down. Loosening up the neck a little bit. And then let's bend into your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair. Just slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. So really feel that you're plugged into the earth through those feet again. And then shoulders can lift up by the ears as we inhale. Exhale, releasing them down and back. Let's try that one more time. Exhaling. Let's press again into both feet here as we reach up. Hold on to your right wrist, pull up and over, pressing down through that right foot a little bit more here. So we're so grounded through both feet, stretching straight over to the side. Root down through both feet again as we inhale, pull up through that left wrist, and then exhale up and over, keeping hips and shoulders nice and square. Inhale back to the center. As we exhale, we'll just open out the arms and bow, forward fold. Release the neck. All right, from there, take a nice inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, let's go ahead and step that right foot, right leg all the way back. So a nice big step back through warrior three. And then lower onto that right knee. So the left knee is above the heel. Uncurl the back toes. And as we're sinking hips down, we're also hugging the thighs in towards each other just a little bit. Enough to where you feel that the hips square off, facing straight forward, so that we're not tilting or rotating those hips in any way, and that spine can stay nice and long. Be on your fingertips or your blocks here. Take another breath. Exhaling from here, let's go ahead and step that left foot back into downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Couple breaths, lengthening through the sides of your body. Nice and long. Again, lifting the shoulders, protracting the shoulder blades here as well. So we lift the shoulders up towards the ears as we lift the hips higher away from the shoulders. Breathe through it. When you're ready, lower onto the knees. Inner thighs look up and back as we inhale, look up between brows. And again, as we exhale, let's go back to downward facing dog. Right. Stepping that right foot forward between your hands when you're ready. Right knee stacked above the heel. So onto the other side, lower the left knee down and curl the toes. And again, just up on your fingertips here. As we sink the hips and lift the heart, feel the hips are truly square as we hug the thighs in towards the midline, mobilizing the hip joint. And just gently, slightly hug in. One more breath here. Perhaps rolling your eyes up towards the third eye or between the brows. And then as we exhale, we'll go ahead and lift that back knee, step that back foot forward, the left foot forward to the front. Bow, forward fold. Let's bend into your knees here and interlace your fingers behind you, Yoga Mudra. Stretch out your shoulders. Sitting in your chair. Deep breaths. Maybe from here, slowly stretching the legs if it feels good. And then exhale, releasing the hands. Inhaling, lengthening the spine halfway to lift. As we exhale, press down through both feet really strongly again. Inhale, palms to prayer. Exhale, hands to the heart center and Samasthiti. Again, root down through feet. As we inhale, reach up, hooking the right thumb on top. Gaze up, strong through your core and your legs. Exhale, bow forward, fold down the center. Inhaling, lengthening up through your spine. Nice flat back. And exhale, fold. Let's step that left leg. Big, huge step like we're going through warrior 3. Lightly, quietly landing all the way back. Right knee above the heel. And see if we can drop those hips down, lengthening that back thigh bone up. Deep, slow breaths here. And then hug the thighs in. Let's see if we can bring the arms behind us here like wings. So we're squeezing, palms are facing each other, spreading the fingers wide, lifting the belly up off the thigh, and squeezing the back of those arms. Not too much, not too little. We bend and squeeze. Keep your gaze just slightly out in front, keeping a neutral spine and neck. Squeeze, bend, and squeeze. And squeeze. Again, legs and core really strong. And squeeze. Breathing through. Squeeze. And squeeze. Take another deep breath here. Exhaling, hands come down. We're going to push off the back foot. Bring the left knee behind the right knee and squeeze them together. And then step it back and squeeze, pushing off the back leg. Step it back. Squeeze. Step it back. Squeeze. Last time. Squeeze. Scooping the belly in, flexing that back ankle so you can bring the hands to the heart. Take a little balance. And once more, step it back. Deep lunge, roll up onto your tippy toes and push back through the heel. Mobilizing that back ankle. Stay with that breath. Good. From here, we're going to stay forward, lower that back knee down. Inhale, relax the hips, lift the heart. As we exhale, we're going to stretch that front leg. Let's go ahead and wiggle that right leg forward. And then we're pulling that back thigh bone up and forward. We're lifting it up and towards the front foot, squaring the hips. Again, bending this right knee as much as we need. It can be on your blocks or your fingertips here. Maybe externally rotating the hip so the toes start to turn out, and then internally rotating from the hip in. So maybe continue rotating side to side from the hip joint. Breathe through. And then once we find center again, let's lift, re-lift that back thigh up and forward towards that front foot. Maybe softening, forward fold a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. Listening. One more breath here. And then from here, we're going to actually turn your toes to the left, so internally rotating from the hip. And we're going to turn to face the left side of your mat. And I actually have to turn around here. So we're facing the left side of your mat, or the long edge. Toes are straight towards it, towards that long edge, pressing into the outer edge of that back, or that foot. Lifting the inner arch. Let's go ahead and bring your right arm underneath the left. We're going to slowly bring your right ear and right shoulder towards the ground or onto something if you need to put a prop underneath you. Now from here, you can stay here on your left fingertips. Try to press that right hip down towards the earth and lift the left hip higher. So you may have to scoot forward just a little bit with your shoulder. But again, see if we can press that right hip, the leg that is extended out. That hip is pushing down, and you'll start to feel the stretch through your inner leg line, your adductors. Now you can stay here or bring your left hand to your sacrum. And you can see if you're doing a good job of pressing that hip down, because you'll either feel your pelvis is flat and congruent here, or that it's tilted up on that side. So we want to press that right hip down, lift the left hip up, and make a nice flat tabletop there. You can also wrap your left arm all the way back behind you. And then pull your left shoulder down towards the floor now. So that now it feels like you're trying to square your shoulders to the ground and you feel a nice outer arm and shoulder stretch here. Still pressing that right thigh, like you're trying to press your right hip down into the ground, still lifting that inner arch of the foot, pressing into the pinky toe edge as well. Go ahead and slowly, when you're ready, press back down onto your fingertips here. Press down to reach up. So using your core, inhale, on your standing leg, reach up. As we exhale, pull up through that left side here again and come up and over to the side, keeping your shoulders square to the front. You can stay here or let go. That will really help to engage again the deeper abdominals and your internal, external obliques. One more breath here. As we inhale, reach up nice and tall. As we exhale, let's go and go back towards the back of your mat, left hand on the ground. And again, you can adjust your right foot here if you need to pull it towards you. So your weight has shifted towards that left knee and left hand. Then bring that right arm slowly down and overhead. So we're stretching from pinky finger to pinky toe, press into the pinky toe edge of that foot again. Lift those hips higher. So remember this position, we're gonna revisit it in our forearm plank here. We inhale, lift those hips high, reach long, and then exhale, come back onto your hands and knees. Now we're gonna face forward, back to the front of your mat. I've just flipped myself around, but you're gonna just go back to the front of your mat, interlace the finger, or sorry, inner thighs lift up and back as we inhale, look up between brows. And then again, as we exhale, let's go back to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale, lengthening through both sides of the body. We'll do the other side here in a moment. And then as you can maybe feel the difference between the right and left side. It's kind of fun to just take note. Breathe. Just notice again without judging. Breathing deeply. And then lowering down once more onto the knees, inner thighs, lift up and back. Let's inhale, look up between the brows. And as we exhale, let's come onto your forearms here into a forearm plank. Stretch the legs long behind you, tailbone down towards the heel. Belly lifts, protract the shoulder blades. So externally rotating those shoulders and pushing the shoulder blades or pulling them away from each other as we push that upper back toward the ceiling. Couple deep breaths. And then when you're ready here, lower the knees, lower the belly, and bring the elbows out in front of you a little bit, slightly. Lengthen the legs long as we inhale here in Sphinx pose, shoulders pressing down with the heart lengthen the sides of your body. Feel the legs press down, the kneecaps lift. Another deep breath here. Exhale, let's go ahead from here. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, squeeze the triceps into your body as we inhale. Reverse your push-up either onto the knees or to plank. And then exhale, we can walk the feet forward to bear pose, bending the knees, hips high. This is also a really nice transition to help neutralize the spine and the low back before we go back into spinal flexion into our down dog. Deep cleansing breaths here. Externally rotating those shoulders. Protracting the shoulder blades, lift those shoulders high towards the ears. Pushing up through that upper back between the shoulder blades. And then lift your hips higher away from the shoulders. Breathe. Long, slow breaths. We're going to now step that left foot forward between the hands. So onto the other side. Left knee stacks above the heel. And we're going to sink the hips, but lift that back thigh bone up. Scoop the belly in and up. And arms again back behind you, squeezing the triceps. Stretch them long, spread through the fingers. And bend and stretch and bend. Like you're doing like tricep curls here. Curl that belly in and up as well. So we're not resting on that thigh. Breathe deeply. And again, not too much force here. Just gentle squeeze. Squeeze, and last time. From here, we're going to keep lengthening the back of those arms. Another deep breath. Exhale, hands will come down. From here, we're going to push off the back foot and squeeze that right knee behind the left knee. Squeeze them together, bend both knees, and step back and squeeze. So we're just hopping off that back foot, reaching back, and then coming back to that double knee bend. Just get those hamstrings nice and woke. Breathe. Last one here. Squeeze back of the knee, right knee behind the left knee, squeeze them together, flex that right ankle, hands to the heart center. Find a little balance here. Really wake them up, and then step back. And then from here onto your tippy toes and back through the heel. Slow, deep breaths. And then from here, we're going to come back onto tippy toes, lower that right knee. Relax the back foot, inhale, sink the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, stretch out through that front leg. Wiggle that front foot forward. And again, here we're going to lift that back thigh up and forward. Set us up properly, bend that left knee as much as you need. And maybe externally and internally rotate from that hip. So again, make sure it's coming from your hip joint. Nice and slowly. Side to side. So this is also a kind of hip mobilizing exercise, right? All right, then from there, we're gonna, once more, lift that back thigh bone up and forward towards the front foot. Half splits pose, lengthen the spine, finding some stillness, softening as we bow forward, fold. Again, as long as we can keep that low back flat. And keep the hips reaching forward, especially that back hip, that right thigh bone. Coming forward like we're going to move into the splits. Slow, smooth breaths. And remember, it's all about coming back to that breath. That pure, loving awareness. Creating space, letting go of any judgments or analyzing. Just breathe through this. Feel your breath in and out. One more breath here when you're ready. And exhale, deep lunge. Relaxing from there. Remember, I'm sorry, we're not gonna lunge. We're gonna stay with that left leg extended out in front of us, and we're gonna turn the toes over to the right side of your mat now and shift to that gate pose. So again, I'm gonna turn my body around, but you can still face the right side of your mat. So your foot and knee are aligned, and you wanna be up above this right knee. Up on the fingertips, toes are pointing straight towards that long edge of the mat, pressing into the pinky toe edge. The left arm's going to come underneath, bringing your left shoulder to the ground. You can come onto your fingertips here, your right fingertips. And now the natural tendency here is for that left hip to lift. So we're going to kind of shift. Might have to shift a little bit forward. Shift a little bit forward and get that right hip up and push down through that left hip. So again, you're naturally going to start to feel a stretch through your left inner leg line. As you press that left hip down. You can stay here on the fingertips, or maybe bring your right hand to your sacrum. And this is a really good test to feel If you're not quite able to proprioceptive it or to see it in a mirror, you want to feel your left hip pushing down and then your right hip coming up, and there's a section, a lift in your belly to make that pelvis, to make that your sacrum nice and flat like a tabletop. Deep, slow breaths here. So now your hips are truly square and you have a nice neutral spine to engage in your twists. Deep belly breaths. So that nice stretch in your inner thigh. You can also wrap that right arm all the way back and then pull the shoulders straight down towards the floor. Again, that can be a really nice shoulder stretch and outer arm. Just push that weight down, pull some weight down into the ground. Internally, really internally rotating, stretching that shoulder here. Breathe. And again, once you're ready, hands down, pressing up onto your hands, pressing. So again, making sure your weight is over that right leg. Inhale, root down, reach up. Hold your right wrist and pull up before you come up and over. So really stretch your side body long. And then let go here. Navel to spine. Again, corsets on, wrapped around. Nice and strong through your core. As you roll your heart to the sky, breathe through it. On your next inhale, root down and reach up. And exhale, again, we're going to shift our weight a little bit over towards that right arm. Get all the way up over that right knee. So there's hardly, and on that right hand, so there's hardly any weight on the knee, but you're over that right arm. Hips are lifting high, left arm can stack or sweep it all the way down and overhead. So reaching through those fingertips from pinky finger all the way down to the pinky toe, press into that outer edge of the foot. Lift up through those hips. Another deep breath here. And exhale, sweep it back in. And again, from here, we're just going to turn back to the front of your mat once more. Inner thighs lift up and back. Lift the belly. Exhale. Downward facing dog. I'm sorry, from here, now we have we're stepping that right foot forward and then pushing off the right leg. No, I'm sorry, we're stepping the left foot forward, pushing off that right foot, coming all the way forward. Interlace your fingers behind you. Again, opposite forefinger and thumb on top. Bend those knees, stretch the shoulders. Deep cleansing breaths. If you like here, you can stretch your legs. Now see if it's okay for you. Bend your right knee and see if you can gently twist a little bit, bringing your left shoulder towards your right knee. Back to center. And then bend your left knee so you can gently bring your right shoulder towards your left knee. If not, that's okay, not too much. And then back to center, we can bend both knees, release the hands. Inhaling, lengthening, halfway lift. Exhale, plugging down through the feet to slowly rise. And then take your next inhale, reach back up to the sky, palms to prayer. Exhale, hands to the heart center, Samasthiti. Next deep inhale, root down, reach up. Hook the left thumb on top. And exhale, bow forward, fold. All the way down. Couple deep breaths here. Breathe through. I'm going to step back into your plank pose. Inhaling plank, again, tailbone down towards the heels. Protract the shoulder blades. Press into those finger pads, your fingertips. Breathe. Now we're going to lower onto the left forearm, followed by the right. And then lift up onto your left hand, followed by the right. Lower right forearm, followed by left. Try to keep your core really strong, right and left. So we want to keep the body as stiff as the board as we can. Lower left, right. Lift up left, right. Lower right, left. So again, really working off those side obliques, right, left. Lower left, right. Up, left, right. Lower right, left. Up, right, left. Last time, lower left, right. Stay here. Breathe. Forearm plank. Left fingertips to your right wrist. Spin your heels to the left and lift your toes up towards your head so you're on the edges of your feet. Lift the hips high. Right arm can stack or sweep it all the way down and overhead. Another deep breath here to see if you can lift those hips a little higher. Side obliques, side obliques, side obliques. Slowly come back to your forearm plank. Find center. Right fingertips to your left wrist. Spin your heels to the right all the way down. Toes up towards your head so you're on the edges of your feet. And left hand hip. Or stack. Or lower that left arm all the way down overhead, shoulder down. Press down into your forearm and the edges of your feet. Lift those hips. Lift those hips. Side obliques. Side obliques. One more breath. I am loving awareness. And then slowly come back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees. Bend your hips, elbows underneath the shoulders. Stay with breath. Legs are long. Inhale. Into your Sphinx pose. Lift those kneecaps, lift the belly. And exhale, hands underneath the shoulders. Squeeze triceps in. You can go back to child's pose here or reverse the push-up. And then bend into your knees, lift the hips high into your bear pose. So if the shoulders are screaming, go to child's pose. Deep, slow breath. If and when you feel ready, slowly making your way back to downward facing dog. Stay with it. And then from here, breathe. I'm gonna lift the right leg up towards the ceiling and three-leg dog up on the tippy toes. Pinky toe facing down. And then exhale, bend that right knee so we're stacking the hips. So we're gonna open that left hip, but press down into both hands equally, both shoulders. Bear an equal weight. Keep those shoulders square. From there, bring that right knee towards your right shoulder and then side to chest. So we're gonna keep the hips high and just rotate that hip. Inhale, open through the hip. Exhale, knee towards the right shoulder, but keep pushing the floor away with your hands. Side to chest, one more time. Inhale, open, stack the hip. You can also start to lower the heel here, that back heel, or that left heel. Right knee towards the shoulder, side to chest. Lift that heel, step forward between your hands. Nice and square through your hips here. Left hand underneath you, right arm towards the sky. Let's pull that right butt cheek in and back. As we inhale, stack the shoulders, open through your chest. Breathe here. And then from there, we'll sweep that right arm all the way down. Spin your left heel down, toes pointing out as we inhale up to warrior two. Wiggle the right toes forward, get nice and low. I'm gonna flip around for your point of view. So your right leg's front. Deep breaths and pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Right arm towards the sky as we inhale, stretch it up. As we exhale, so you can sink a little deeper. Get that right thigh parallel more. One more breath here. As we exhale, maybe left arm can internally rotate behind us. Maybe even grab that front thigh. Take another deep breath, really stretch the right side of your body, pull up, lift the belly. And then as we exhale, release that back arm, forearm to thigh, or come all the way down inside of the foot. We're pressing that thigh bone out. And then sweep the left arm overhead. Again, reaching from pinky finger to pinky toe. So we're in side angle. We want to drop the hips to get a nice long line and feel, again, deeply in those inner thighs and hips. Inner thighs stretching long, outer thighs plugging into the hip sockets. Deep breaths. Another deep inhale here. Exhale, we're going to press down to warrior two. Straighten the front leg as we inhale, reverse your triangle. Reach it up. And as we exhale from here, let's bring that back foot in and up. A little bit underneath us, a little bit more. Pull the hips in and back. So we're squeezing in And then straight behind us. Lean back and reach forward to that upper body. And then again, slowly from here, come to your Utthita Trikonasana or triangle pose. So you want to feel, again, the core is lifted and your body is aligned up with your legs as if you could slide in between two walls. So there's that leaning back and that strong core sit on. Deep breaths. And you can stay here as long as you like. You can bend the front knee and stay there if you like. Forearm to thigh, you can rest here. Or walk or float it forward. Pop, pop, pop. Right hand, left foot, slowly forward. Either into your Ardha Chandrasana half moon, or maybe you want to stay low to the ground and just start with bent knees and hand on the hip. And then as you feel more balanced and grounded, we can start to root down, to rise and root down, to stretch out through our limbs, reaching in all directions, spread through the fingers and the toes, root down to lift. Try to lift your abdominals, your pelvic floor, even your pelvis away from your front thigh. Lift as you press down. One more breath here. Exhale, so you can bend that left knee, that back knee, find the foot. Bend your right knee as much as you need to as well. Now, if you find your foot, draw the tailbone down, stretch your quadricep here. Now, again, you're welcome to stay here, just relaxing or just stretching your quad while you balance, or start to kick strong legs and glutes. Both legs and glutes are strong as we kick back into that hand, into your Dhanurasana variation or your variation of bow pose here. Kick, 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 kick. Strong legs and glutes. And then go ahead and bend into both knees here. Left knee behind the right. And go ahead and stretch back to your standing splits. And bend. And then stretch it out behind you. Breathe. From here, lift that right knee, right thigh to your chest. So lift that foot up. And then we're going to spin your left heel to the right on the edge of your foot and just find that side plank again here with that right knee lifted. So you can flex your right foot. Find your side plank. Breathe. Come back. Now, flexing your right foot, bring your foot towards your left wrist. Come into your floating pigeon. And then come all the way down to your pigeon pose. And you can bring your foot forward here if you need. That back thigh bone forward as well. Square the hips once more. Deep inhale, lengthen the spine. Long, smooth exhale, soften, bow forward, fold. Or if you feel any tension in that front knee, or if it's not quite manageable on the hips, for your hips there, you can also lie in your back. And cross your right foot over top of the left thigh in a figure four stretch. So any variation that feels good for you. Slow, deep breaths. If you are in your pigeon pose, see if we can also rest our forehead onto something, whether that be your hands or your fists or a prop or right on the ground there. And see if with every exhale, we can let the weight of our head become a little bit heavier. Soften into the hips a little bit more as your breath and body allow. Breathing deeply. And breathing new life, fresh prana or life force energy that connects us. Send that deeply into your cells and tissues. And maybe coming back to whichever part of the mantra that speaks to you, or if you have your own mantra here. Preferably not the no pain, no gain. Breathing in peace. Exhaling peace. I am infinite, unconditional, loving awareness. Gradually moving from our head to our heart. Gradually moving towards our true selves and our true nature. Allowing the breath to guide us away from our judgments, our identity, or labels, or our roles in life. Just coming back to the source that has no ego or me, that is connected with all that is. As you're ready, slowly inhaling. Exhaling, empty everything out. Inhaling back up. Take your time here, and as we exhale, let's go back to our downward facing dog. And just feel. Go track through those shoulder blades, root down through your hands and feet. Plug into the earth. Lift the hips high away from the shoulders. This time up on the tippy toes, left leg up towards the sky, outer thigh and pinky toe rolling down at first. As we exhale, we're going to bend into your left knee and stack your hips. And then again, recenter those shoulders, press into both hands firmly and equally as we open through the hip. And also from here, pressing firmly, left knee towards your left shoulder, but keep the hips high, and then thigh to chest. Inhale, we open through the hip. Shoulders are square. Exhale, knee towards your left shoulder, scoop that belly in, thigh to chest. Inhale, stack the hips. We can also lower the right heel towards the earth a little more. Left knee towards the shoulder, thigh to chest, lift that hip high, or both hips high, sorry. Step that left foot forward. Come onto your right fingertips, left hip in and back, left arm towards the sky. So we open, twist here first. Open through the heart space in the chest. We sink the hips, but lift that back thigh bone. Feel that in your core. Another deep breath. Open through the chest without reaching that arm back. And then left arm down. Spin your right heel down. Toes are pointed to the long edge of your mat as we inhale. Windmill the arms to warrior two. Exhale. Wiggle that foot forward. Deepen your warrior two. Again, I'm just going to flip around. Your left leg is still in front. Pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. But nice and low. Left arm toward the sky. When you're ready, inhale, stretch to the left side of your body. As we exhale in peaceful warrior, so you can get a little bit lower. Thigh parallel to the earth. Right arm behind us, so you can even wrap around. Maybe, maybe not, but press down to lift up through the core. Lift up through that belly. Another deep breath here, root down to reach up. Exhale, now from here, release the back arm, forearm to thigh, or come to the inside of the foot, pressing that thigh bone back. Hugging the hips in, so the outer thighs are plugging into the hip sockets again. Right arm sweeps down and overhead. Again, reaching from pinky toe to pinky finger, pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. So you can bring those hips down a little lower. Another deep breath here. Stay with it. Good. From there, press down through the feet, warrior two, straighten through that front leg. Lift that left arm. Right foot comes in underneath us a little bit as we inhale to your reverse triangle. So try to keep both sides of your body long, barely any weight through this back hand. And then exhale into your triangle pose. So we squeeze the hips in and back, lean back as we lengthen through the left side. So lift that left side first before you slowly reach the fingertips down. So there's space between both sides of the body. Both sides of your body, or both waists, both sides of your waist are long. Lean back, open through chest, lift through the heart center. Even if you're gazing down, wherever is comfortable for your neck. Breathe with it. Keep pulling those kneecaps up, not locking back. Again, we're welcome to stay here or bend the front knee. You can stay here as long as you want. Walk or float that left hand, right foot forward. Again, you can stay here floating up, but bending both knees for as long as you need. Right hand on the hip too, as long as you want. Or slowly start to really press down to reach through all of your limbs. Reach through the crown of the head, spread through the fingers and toes, and feel light coming out from your heart center, rooting down to rise. So here's where you really plug into the earth to reach and expand out. Deep cleansing breath, sparkle through your fingertips and toes. Remember, staying here as long as you wish, or bend into that right knee, find your foot. Bend both knees as much as you need to. And then when you're ready, tailbone draws down, stretch your right quad. So you want to pull your tailbone down towards the knee, like you're tucking your butt under to stretch the top of the thigh here. Again, you can stay there as long as you want, or start to kick strongly through both legs and both, using both of your cheeks here, your butt. Kick, 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 strong legs and glutes. One more breath. And then exhale, release. From here, bend your right knee behind the left knee, squeeze. Push down and stretch both legs to standing splits. Bend right knee behind the left knee, squeeze. And then we're just gonna go ahead and step it back from here. All right, onto your fingertips or on your hands here. We're gonna lift that left thigh up, left foot up off the ground. Spin your right heel. Actually, let's bring your left hand to the center first. Spin your right heel to the left, so you're on your right foot. Lift that left knee up, left ankle flexed. Lift the hips high in your side plank again. On one foot, one more breath. Exhale back to your plank pose. Flex that ankle a lot, foot towards your right wrist. Floating pigeon, hold it here. And then slowly come down. Right thigh comes forward. If you want more of a deeper hip opener, you can bring that ankle forward. And then relax the back foot. Just make sure that right thigh, more than anything, is forward. Again, you can stay here, lengthen through the spine. Lift up as we inhale. As we exhale, we can soften, bow forward, fold if you like. Again, nice opportunity to rest your forehead onto something here and relax the neck and shoulders. If you need, lying onto your back instead. Again, if there's any pressure on that front knee or too much pressure on those hips, just take that figure four with the left foot on top and breathe into those hips. Long, smooth breaths. And once again, here, connect with the breath in a way that brings you back to that loving awareness that you are and that is connected to all that is, that you are plugged in and connected to.
back to source and your true nature. Letting go of our grip and our hold on these mind constructs that we hold so dear and close to us. Just softening our grip a little bit. Just see what comes out of just being, just breathing. You can take another deep, slow breath here. Filling our back bodies, filling up through the hips. Softening, melting as we exhale. Inhaling slowly back on our way up. And this time as we exhale, let's just swing the legs around. Slowly rolling down. We're going to bring the feet as wide apart as the mat and kind of wiggle our fingertips underneath the low back. And then windshield right the knees to one side. Windshield right to the other side. Let's try that a couple more times at your own pace. And then whenever you're ready here, sliding the legs out long in front of you, or perhaps if you need to go back to knocking the knees in towards each other, you're welcome to. Legs a few feet apart or away from each other. And arms down by your sides, a few feet away from your body. Wiggle out your shoulders or anything, any residual tension or holding that you may feel. Make yourself as comfortable and warm as you like. And just allowing yourself once again here to drop in. And give yourself to the earth. Feel her immense support. Feel how you are held. Infinitely and unconditionally loved and supported. Feel her immense strength and stability within your own body. And feel this deep reciprocity and connection with nature through this breath. Receiving and giving back freely and generously, fully and completely. completely safe. Coming back to this deep peace and wisdom and trust that dwells within. Take a chance on just being. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths. You can lie here in stillness as long as you wish. Perhaps if and when you feel ready, gently awakening the fingertips and toes. Slowly walking the feet back up onto the ground, rolling over onto your left side into a fetal position. The left arm is a pillow under your head. And take a deep breath here, observe what you feel. Come back to this involved rebirth. And remembering clarity. Just a nice deep exhale, pressing into your right palm to slowly rise. And keeping our eyes closed and gaze inward, let's find a nice tall and comfortable seat. And feel the bones stack tall as they soften. Muscles. Open the heart. Just observe what you feel as you breathe. As you feel ready, joining the hands together by your heart center in Anjali Mudra of prayer. And lifting the heart slightly up towards the hands as we bow the head in towards the heart. Taking deep, cleansing, nourishing breaths. As cultivating gratitude as we observe body's natural capacity to rebalance, to harmonize, equalize. Again, to this deep connection and reciprocity with life through breath. And sealing our practice and our intentions with gratitude and bowing humbly to the light and the teacher that dwells within each and every one. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. And in that place we are one. Namaste.